Hey everybody, I'm William.
I'm Kina.
And we are the Nerdyweds. And today we are doing a monthly wrap-up for December 2022.
Yeah, good thing we're getting to it before the end of January.
Oh my.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say thank you to Mo before we even jump into this list, because pretty much most of the games that we played for the month of December is because of her, because we went to a game night at her house.
Birthday game night.
Game night.
Happy birthday again, Mo.
Happy birthday again.
And yeah, like she said, it was a busy month for us.
It was.
We had a lot going on. We did do a game night during the month, and we had a cruise.
Yeah.
All the way through Christmas.
We did do a lot, and a lot of it was focused on Christmas stuff, and like you said, the Christmas cruise.
Yeah.
So we were able to get in more gaming than the previous month. So we are moving in the right direction.
We are moving in the right direction.
So what game do you want to start with? I guess I can start, because I'll start with the game that I played, because at the party, we played some games together, and then I played a game that you didn't play, and you played a game that I didn't play. So I'm going to start with the one I played, which was Liar's Dice. And that is just a game of bluffing. So whoever starts, everyone has a cup, and they kind of roll their dice in there and lay them out without letting the other people see them. And then they proceed to bluff by saying they have a certain total number of a particular numbered dice. And the next player will either call their bluff and say that they're lying, or if they believe them, they will then choose another numbered dice and say that they have a certain amount, but it has to be higher than what the total number that the person before them said.
Yeah.
So it gets a little bit tricky as you go along. At some point,
either have to raise the number on the dice face, or raise the number of dice you think are at the table for that particular number.
Yeah.
It can be tricky, like you said.
Yeah. So what was the one that you played that I didn't play?
I played Codenames. It was a rather large team on each side. Well, it was 3 or 4 people on each side versus each other. But that is a game of... trying to think of how to describe this game. It is a game of descriptions, but only using one word and a number. So there are cards laid out, and each card has words on them. And you've got to figure out, as the person giving clues, if there are any connections between particular words that you want your team to guess. You got to figure out, okay, there's a dog, there's a cat, and there's a sheep. You could say animal 3, and they can pick the dog, the cat, and the sheep. But you got to be careful, because there might be bird or something else, and that other card might be either your opponent's team's word that they want to guess, and you're just giving them a free word, or they could be an innocent bystander, or even worse, the spy. And if the spy is found, whatever team found the spy, loses the game instantly. Once your team has found all the words you're trying to give them clues for, you win, or you lose if the other team does it. So it's a pretty cool game. It's really easy to teach, really fun. It can be played as teams. And I think the regular Codenames requires more than 3 people. But then they have Codenames Duet, which is a 2-player version, and a multitude. We've talked about Codenames on the show, so
yes, yeah,
or not on this particular episode, but on our YouTube channel. So there are a multitude of different versions of Codenames out there, and they're all really good.
Okay. So the next one I want to talk about that we played is Telestrations. Telestrations is one that you wanted to play.
It's been on my list for a while.
For a long time. So it was really fun to be able to actually get to play it. And it is a great game for a large number of people. I think it was at least, 8 people playing this game?
Oh, at least, yeah.
At least. And it's the gameplay is pretty unique for a draw and guess game. Think Pictionary, but way more creative. So each person gets a book, and they will have something, a description that they have to draw. And then after everyone has drawn their particular clue or phrase, they then pass their book to the next person. And each person guesses what they think the picture is. And they write that down on the next page. And then the book goes to the next person. You're basically going in a circle. And that next person guesses what they think the picture is.
Yeah,
They write that
write down.
down on
Yeah.
the next page. And then you do this until you have completely filled the book with all of the different guesses and drawings. And then once you're all done, you go ahead and you want to finish
Well,
describing?
yeah, then the hilarity starts.
Mhm.
Everybody goes through their particular book and looks at what the person next to them guessed that the original picture was, and then looks at the drawing the
Mhm.
next person did, and then so on and so forth. And sometimes, especially with Telestrations After Dark, I think it
Yeah,
was we played,
yeah.
it can get kind of racy and lewd, which led to a lot of hilarity that
Mhm.
I don't think the regular Telestrations would have, like the more friendly,
Right, family
family-friendly
friendly.
one.
Yeah.
But this is all adult players, so
Yeah, so it was
it
fun,
went
and
off
it
the
was
rails
really
fast,
funny.
and it was hilarious. It was a good time, and I look forward to playing it again.
So it's really fun. So what's the next game you
Blood
got?
on the Clocktower. I ran this at Mo's birthday party game night, and I think overall it went really, really well. I would like to. It's not a game you can sit down and play once and really get a feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
At Dragon Con, when I ran the game, I ran for like the first night was like 6 hours, the next night was like 5 with the same people both times. And well, for the most part, we had some different people come in
Mm-hmm.
and out of the
Yeah.
game. But it's one that you really want to play more than once to really get into it and
Mm-hmm.
understand. It's a social deduction game for, I want to say, well, the minimum is 5 players, not including the storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 if you include the storyteller as a player. Um, Up to 20, but I would say 15 at the most, because you get into some stuff that's kind of messy in the 15 or the 16 to 20 range.
Mm-hmm.
It is basically werewolf on crack, um, and I really enjoy it. There's some really cool storytelling elements that aren't present in a lot of other social deduction games, and it takes bits and pieces from different games
Mm-hmm.
like Coup and the Resistance and obviously Werewolf, and kind of changes things and really takes it to the next level. And I plan on doing a video in the not too distant future dedicated to Blood on the Clocktower.
Well, what I was going to say is that we have talked about Blood on the Clocktower now on the channel at least twice. This might be, oh no, nothing wrong with that. This might be the second time. But what I want to say about that is maybe the next time that we talk about Blood on the Clocktower is to actually show them a video of the game being ran.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
If we can manage that and get people who are willing to have us video them playing the game.
Yeah, that'd be a
Because I
great
think it's
opportunity
it's one of those games that's kind of fun to watch.
It is, especially if there's a camera pointed into the grimoire. Because I think that running the game is just as satisfying, if not more satisfying, than actually playing the game. Because the hardest thing is the storyteller in that game is maintaining a straight face when you have your players go completely off the rails. And they start making deals with the demon. They shouldn't be making deals with the demon. You can tell the demon's having just as much fun as I am, because it's fun to see behind the curtain, you know, in some, you know, it's not like a magic show. So.
Well, we were able to do this game a couple of times in December because we did it at Mo's party and then also New Year's Eve. So the next game that we played in December was Wits and Wagers Party.
Yep.
And that is a trivia game. And we're not the biggest fans of trivia, so it's always fun when we can find one that we don't mind playing. And this is one of those. So this is one that people who like trivia obviously will like it, but people who are not that into trivia will like as well. And it can accommodate a large number of players. I will look up how many and put it up here, but it can be played in teams. And what you're doing is you get a question and then you and your teammate, you answer it, and then you wager how much you think your answer or someone else's answer is the correct answer. And so by the end of the game, the people who win are the ones left with the most money.
They're either the ones who risked the most or didn't risk much at all. Because every round you have to wager the 100, the 200, and the 200 point tokens. But you get those back, the ones that are your color. Now, if you're really confident and you've scored a few points, you can actually I believe you can wager the ones you've scored during the game, but the last round you really can wager a lot.
It really does come down to being strategic about your wages and not necessarily your knowing the right answer.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked it, because I felt like we actually had a fighting chance, because I didn't know those answers.
I don't know.
I didn't know the answer to the question.
I felt like the wagering system was very close to Dixit, where people are voting on what they think is the correct picture to go with the clues. And that's what that boils down to, is you're wagering your point tokens on what you think is the right answer.
And I like that.
Or closest to the right answer without going over.
Because sometimes you might not be able to think of the answer, but then you see someone else's and it triggers a memory and you're like, oh yeah, that's what it is. But you got to be careful that you're not talking too loudly so other people know, oh, they're kind of confident about that being the right answer. I'm going to wager on that.
One of the questions was, what year was the first submarine invented? And I knew that colonial American Navy had attempted, well, not at the time, they weren't a Navy, but they had attempted to use a submarine to sink a British ship. So I knew it was somewhere in the early to mid 1770s. And that's what we did, and we got some pretty big points from that one. But yeah, it's a fun game for people who, even you don't like trivia. It gives you an opportunity to kind of guess, and then, like she said, when somebody comes up with a better answer than you did, you can wager on theirs.
Well, we were able to play 2 new games that we hadn't played before. That one, Wits and Wagers Party, and Telestrations. The last 2 games of the month that we played were games that we had played before, but they're like oldies but goodies. So it's Zombie Dice and Coup. So we've talked about Coup on the channel before. We've actually done a short, so check out our shorts. We've done a short on Coup that explains how it works, but just an overview, 2 to 6 player, ages 14 and up. It's a social deduction game, and it is really fun. It goes really fast, but there's a lot of opportunities in there to really just kind of try to, outwit and outbluff your people that you're playing against. So that's one that should always be in the stash to play.
Of course. Yeah.
Because it can be taught really quickly, it can be learned really quickly, and pretty much everyone that I've ever played with, once they play it, they usually want to play it again.
Yeah.
So that's a fun one. And then Zombie Dice is a really good icebreaker game. Pretty much any age
Any number of people.
play it, any number of people. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, you take 3 die. You have a red one, a yellow one, and a green die. Each one of them have different faces on them. Like the green has the most positives and the red has the most negatives. You roll the die. You're collecting the brains, which are the positives. You want to avoid collecting the shotgun blasts, because if you get 3 of those on your turn, you not only have to pass the dice on to the next person, but you lose all the brains you've accumulated during your turn. The objective is to have 13 brains, but if you keep losing all of them, you never accumulate any score. The next player can win just getting 2 or 3 at a time and passing on the die. So it's a risk it all. What's it called?
Push your luck.
Push your luck. Yeah, it's a push your luck game. And any number of people that want to get around the table and watch some other people roll dice and laugh at them for their hubris.
We're all gonna laugh at you.
There's a lot of was it Schadenfreude, where you're watching other people's pain and suffering. So I don't know if that's the proper pronunciation for that word. I think it's close, but yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of watching people, including yourself at times, roll when you shouldn't have rolled. You should have taken those 6 brains and hope for a good turn.
Always keep rolling. Like if you're playing with
risk
me,
it all.
If you're playing with me, just risk it all. Unless your roll is doing pretty good, like you're pretty lucky at that moment.
I've lost a lot of brains. I've lost a lot of brains. Like I had like 7. In the next roll, I rolled 3 shotgun blasts and lost all of them, and I could have just banked those and won the game on my next turn.
Yeah.
So that's the last game for the month. We're hoping to do better this month.
What? Hey, that wasn't too bad. What was the total?
The total would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Okay, so we just have to beat that number. So make sure you keep coming back to watch all of the videos, but definitely come back end of this month and watch the wrap up to see if we beat that number. So
hold us accountable.
7. Well, that's all I've got. Oh, let me show my shirt because I like it.
Well, stand up.
Well, I don't want to stand up. There,
nicer
you think that's
than my face looks.
Yeah. I was rolling back, so I think I'm going to stop. You read it. Okay.
All right, that's all I've got.
And you don't want to show your shirt?
I am Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I don't know why you're wearing that shirt. I should be wearing that shirt because I'm Batman.
You're not Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Outrageous! I'm Batman.
Hey, I'm more Batman than Batman. Man.
Since when did you start saying you're Batman?
I got a Batman shirt. Do you have a Batman shirt?
I don't need the shirt because I'm Batman. Why would I need the shirt?
You're not Batman.
You're repping me. That's why you're wearing this shirt. I thought you were Vader.
I'm Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
Be both.
Batman only dreams of being Vader.
Okay, so basically you're not Batman if you're saying that.
And Vader.
Anyway, we're actually the Nerdyweds, so, and he's William, I'm Kina. We're starting over. I'm doing the introduction. It's like we're starting all over. Comment,
and subscribe. And until next time,
stay nerdy.